In this video, I'm going to explain 5 ways to fix a broken metabolism. My name is Ben Azadi. I am the best-selling author of 4 books and the founder of Keto Camp. And be prepared to get some life-changing information in today's video. Grab a pen and paper, stay present. Let's get right into this topic. When we think about the metabolism, it's very important to understand that you can fix a broken metabolism, and I'm going to show you how to do so. In today's video, you're going to learn why metabolism efficiency is more important than speeding it up. You're also going to learn why we could burn fat during sleep. And I'm going to give you some really life-changing sleep tips and talk about delta sleep to activate those fat-burning hormones. We're also going to get into the role that ketosis plays with your fat-burning hormones and intermittent fasting as well. Why intermittent fasting does not put you in a survival starvation mode, but it actually could enhance your metabolism. I'm going to share with you 3 different strategies in terms of a fasting schedule that you could implement today for exceptional results. And then we're going to talk about alcohol. What are the best and worst alcohols for your metabolism? So make sure you stick around for that tip, which is the final tip in today's video. Here are 11 warning signs to pay attention to for a broken metabolism. If you have 1 to 11 of these are big warning signs. Number 1, anxiety. Do you feel anxious all the time? Brain fog. Are you forgetting people's names, forgetting where you put your keys? Just don't feel right mentally. Dizziness spells, very common. Fatigue, afternoon energy slumps, or maybe it takes you some time to get your day started in the morning. Heart racing, heart palpitations, that is very common. Irritability, maybe you are getting on, or people are getting on your nerves and it's happening often. Nausea is another symptom of a broken metabolism. Shakiness as well, jitters, sweats, weakness, you just don't feel good, and then commonly getting headaches. These are 11 warning signs to pay attention to. It's important to understand that you can overcome this, and I'm going to share with you 5 steps to do so. First tip is going to be to implement high-intensity interval training. It's called HIIT, and it's very important. Let me explain to you why. This study in PubMed was researching the effects of HIIE, which is HIIT training, and it got some really interesting results. Here's what it said. The mechanisms underlying the fat reduction induced by HIIT training are undetermined, but may include fat oxidation, good things, during and after exercise, and suppressed appetite. Regular HIIT training has been shown to significantly increase both aerobic and anaerobic fitness, and HIIT training also significantly lowers insulin resistance. That's super important. And it results in increased skeletal muscle mass capacity and fatty acid oxidation, and glycolytic enzyme content. What does all that mean? It means when you build lean muscle mass, skeletal muscle mass, these are like calorie absorbers. Not only will you burn more calories, which is a good thing, you'll lower insulin and you'll be able to, it's a longevity organ, so it'll help increase your lifespan. Muscle is a longevity organ. So my favorite ways to practice HIIT training or exercise in general, I love a Tabata format. Tabata means 20 seconds of all-out effort, 10 seconds of rest. You do that for about 4 minutes. And you want to focus on compound movements. As you can see, I have some of my favorite here: squats, push-ups, shoulder press, burpees, lunges. These are movements that are recruiting multiple joints at the same time. These are much better than isolated movements such as bicep curls and leg extensions. So Tabata, you could simply get 2 of these movements. Maybe it's push-ups and it's squats. And how it works, you set a timer on your phone or anywhere else, and for 20 seconds, you're doing as many push-ups as possible. And then you rest for 10 seconds. And then for another 20 seconds, you're doing as many squats as possible, resting for 10 seconds rest, and then going back and forth between those 2 movements. I love strength training. It's super important. Doing this 3 to 5 times per week will get you the results that you're seeking for. Now look at the YouTube channel GC3 Fitness, which is a great channel on YouTube. He has tremendous videos. Follow his videos, and he does a lot of Tabata, HIIT training, and also ways for you to accelerate fat loss. The second tip is going to be intermittent fasting. I love fasting. It's one of my favorite tools in the shed, but you got to understand it's a tool. Just like a chainsaw is a tool, you need to know how to use that chainsaw. If you don't use the chainsaw the right way, you can hurt yourself. So I'm going to give you some strategies for fasting. But the common thing that I hear all the time, Ben, doesn't skipping a meal slow down your metabolism? It's the complete opposite. The body's not stupid. We don't eat food and store that food as body fat. And then when the chips are down, let's go for muscle. Let's go for slowing the metabolism. Give the innate intelligence inside of your body some credit. Here's a study to back up my point. This study showed a 13% increase in basal metabolism with fasting. Here's what it said. Studies of fasting show that basal metabolism doesn't shut down during fasting. It actually revs itself up. 4 consecutive days of fasting increases basal metabolism by 13%. Here's the reason why. Inside of your body, you have hormones that are coined counter-regulatory hormones. They run counter to insulin. When you think about insulin, insulin is the only fat storage hormone in the body. Isn't that crazy? Over 600 hormones in your body, but only one stores fat, and that hormone is insulin. When you practice fasting, like when you're not eating food, insulin is going to be optimal. It's going to be at baseline, and you have these hormones that are going up. They run in counter to insulin. You have glucagon, human growth hormone, cortisol, and a few others. This is your sympathetic tone, and it's your body's incredible way of pumping you full of energy and revving up your metabolism. Think about it this way. Back in the day, our ancestors didn't have food readily available to them. The body does not know about Uber Eats, DoorDash, Whole Foods supermarket. It just knows the way that it's hardwired. So when you are going through a perceived famine, aka fasting, it'll rev up the metabolism and literally pump itself full of energy via these counter-regulatory hormones. So what you're seeing in this study is the desired effect, which is actually an increase in basal metabolism. So here are a couple tips for you. I love an 18-6 daily intermittent fasting schedule for most days. How that works is 18 hours out of a 24-hour period, you're going to be in that fasted state, getting those counter-regulatory hormones up. You're going to have water, sea salt, electrolytes, minerals, but no food. You're going to be fasted. And then during your 6-hour eating window, you're going to have 2 meals. You want to make those meals keto-friendly. Focus on protein and fat. Don't have more than 50 grams of total carbs for that day. Those are going to be for most days out of the week. I also love a 24-hour water fast performed once per week as a great way to reboot the metabolism, burn fat, achieve autophagy, which is the cellular repair and cellular cleanup process. But also, it's a great way to reset the gut, completing a 24-hour fast. How you do it is very simple. You just go dinner to dinner once per week. That could also be lunch to lunch or breakfast to breakfast. There was some interesting research from MIT that shows fasting 24 hours have helped boost intestinal, or I should say regenerate intestinal stem cells in mice. So if you're dealing with gut issues, chances are you are with metabolism issues, 24-hour fast once per week. That could be a game changer. So that's the first, or the second tip is fasting. The third tip is going to be, I say get 8 hours of sleep, but it could be anywhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. But here's why. During delta sleep, which is stage 4 deep sleep, your body is going to activate most of your fat burning hormones. That's correct. You burn most of you're activating most of your fat burning hormones during sleep, not at the gym, not during your CrossFit workout. All that's great, but it's sleep where you burn most fat and recover. You increase T3, IGF-1, human growth hormone, glucagon, testosterone during delta sleep. Studies show poor sleep disrupts your metabolism. I can tell you this, nothing affects me more than a poor night of sleep. Here's some studies to back up what I'm saying here. This study showed poor sleep slows down fat loss efforts regardless of dietary efforts. Sleep curtailment decreased the fraction of weight loss by 55% and increased the loss of fat-free body mass by 60%. This was accompanied by markers of enhanced neuroendocrine adaptation to caloric restriction, increased hunger, not good, and a shift in relative substrate utilization towards oxidation of less fat. What it means, You get less than 7 hours of sleep each night. You don't get enough delta sleep. You burn less fat. Also, we want to make sure we're building a strong foundation by focusing on sleep and stress, and they go hand in hand. One poor night of sleep results, and there's numerous studies to back this up. I'll put some down below. But one poor night of sleep results in higher cortisol levels, your stress hormone. What follows cortisol is glucose and insulin. And what drops is ketone, so it could kick you out of ketosis. Also, higher levels of ghrelin after a poor night of sleep. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone, so you're hungrier. And lower levels of leptin, which is your satiety hormone. Not good. I already explained most of your fat burning takes place during delta sleep. When you're stressed, living in fear, sleep deprived, it'll wipe out your willpower reserves and your immune system. So here are 3 ways to get better sleep starting tonight. Have a nighttime routine. Don't watch the news, mainstream news at night. Read a book. Have some sort of routine. You're going to bed at the same time. You're waking up at the same time. Let your body get into this rhythm. And here's what the research shows in terms of maximizing deep fat-burning restorative sleep. Set your thermostat to about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where the studies show you get good deep sleep. But also dark bedroom, whether it is a blackout curtains that you're using or sleep mask, that's going to be important. So cold, dark, first tip. Second tip is to take a warm to hot shower about an hour before bed. When you hop out of that warm to hot shower, walk into that cold bedroom, your body is going to cool itself down and it has a calming effect. Third tip is going to be drink banana tea. Yeah, it is keto friendly. Here's how it works. Banana tea is like nature's NyQuil. You grab a whole banana, make sure it's organic, leave the peel on. The peel has more micronutrients like potassium, magnesium, these nutrients that are important for relaxing than the actual banana itself. You cut off the ends of the banana, but you leave the peel on. You boil that banana with water until it starts to brown and pour that water into a cup and you discard the banana or put it into the freezer and drink that banana tea. It's a great way to calm the mind and get you into a relaxed state so you could get deep restorative sleep. All right, next tip. Oh, by the way, I have another webinar that I just did. If you want to learn more about sleep, dive deep into what your mattress might be doing to affect your sleep and other sleep tips, talking about the glymphatic system and the cerebral spinal fluid and all things sleep. Sign up for my free webinar. Go to ketocampsleep.com. Register for it today. It's free and it's about 35 minutes. You're going to learn a lot more about sleep. ketocampsleep.com. The next tip is going to be practice keto flexing. What exactly is keto flexing? First, let's talk about keto. Keto is not a diet. Keto is a metabolic process, and every single one of our ancestors did keto. That's a fact, but they also flexed out when they had the opportunity. Keto is a great way to achieve metabolic freedom and flexibility, which is the ultimate goal. But I don't think we should be in ketosis long term. So I like a 90-day protocol of strict ketosis, and then you start flexing. So if you're watching this and you've been in ketosis for at least 90 days, this is going to be a tip for you to start flexing. If you're not there yet, come back to this tip. So let's talk about how being in ketosis long-term could actually slow down your fat loss efforts. I'm going to give you an analogy here. Picture yourself in Alaska. You have a cabin in the woods and it's the summertime, but in a few months, it's going to be winter and it's going to be several months of brutal cold temperatures. So you start storing firewood to get ready for the cold winter months. But let's say you only found about 10 logs of firewood. You have several months of cold temperature, but only 10 logs of firewood. You're going to burn that firewood as slowly as possible to get through the cold winter months. That's similar to what's happening when you're in ketosis for a very long time. Fat burning will slow down because the number one priority for the innate intelligence, the human body, is survival. And if you've only been burning fat, you only have one precious fuel source, it will want to slow down fat burning in order to preserve its life. But here's what a keto flex day could do for you. It's like your friend coming over and saying, oh, you only have 10 logs of firewood. I'm going to give you 200 logs. I have a whole bunch. And what are you going to do now? You're going to be more inspired, more motivated to ramp up the burning of that firewood. Same thing happens when you have a keto flex day. It reminds the body it's not starving. You switch to burning sugar for that day and it ramps up fat burning. So the magic lies with keto flexing. I'm going to give you a protocol here on how to do it, but I want to also let you know in my book, Keto Flex, I have advanced strategies and I go through my entire 4 pillars. So if you haven't gotten my book yet, Go to ketoflexbook.com to purchase it today. Follow the 5-1-1 rule of keto flexing. I outlined this in the book. It's a 7-day protocol. You do this after 90 days of strict ketosis. Here's how it works. 7 days out of the week. So that 5 in the 5-1-1 rule is 5 days of an 18-6 intermittent fast. I already explained how to do that. 6-hour eating window with keto-friendly meals. That's 5 days. 1 day out of that 7-day period, you're going to be doing a 24-hour water fast. I already explained how to do that. You're just going dinner to dinner or lunch to lunch or breakfast to breakfast. And the final one in the 5-1-1 rule is a keto flex day. This is a higher healthy carb day. You're going to take your carbohydrates, increase it between 100 to 150 grams for that entire day. No fasting. You're going to have 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're also going to increase protein, and you're going to decrease total fat for that day below 30 grams. Keep your carbs clean and healthy, but this is going to be, you're going to intentionally teach your body to burn sugar, get out of ketosis. And if you've done this the right way, you should be able to get right back into ketosis within 48 hours. That's a 5-1-1 protocol, and it could be a game changer for your metabolism. Next, oh, by the way, I have a free keto masterclass that goes deeper into keto. If you want to learn more about keto, understand how to flex in and out, difference between clean keto and dirty keto, the role of fasting to accelerate ketosis, free masterclass, and you can get signed up for it. It's coming up very soon over at ketosismasterclass.com. Again, I'll drop a link down below in the notes of this video. The final tip, and I know this is going to ruffle some feathers here, but the final tip is going to be replace alcohol with tea, at least for 30 days. Here's why. The alcohol does need to be detoxed by the liver. Alcohol is a poison. And the worst offenders out there are beer and wine. So if you're going to drink, stay away from beer and wine. It's estimated, Dr. Zach Bush, who was on my Keto Camp podcast last year, said the average California wine has 64 herbicides and pesticides in it. That is highly inflammatory for the gut. So we also want to know, we want to avoid wine, but we also want to avoid beer. Here's what Maria Emmerich, who endorsed my book, Keto Flex, said about alcohol, specifically beer. Alcohol stimulates your appetite and decreases your testosterone levels by 24 hours and increases estrogen by 300%. The infamous beer belly is really just an estrogen belly. Biochemically, the higher your level of estrogen is, the more readily you absorb the alcohol, but the slower you break it down. So if you're going to drink alcohol, the best options to have is going to be tequila and whiskey. Okay, I know you want to drink, I get it. So if you're going to drink tequila and whiskey on the rocks, stay away from wine, stay away from beer. Now, there is a caveat with wine. If you're getting an organic dry farm wine, that's terrific. But most people, they're not drinking that. So if you follow these tips, I promise you, you're going to fix your metabolism for good, and you're going to enhance fat burning, and you're going to achieve metabolic freedom and metabolic flexibility. Again, if you want to get signed up for my keto masterclass to learn more about keto, go to ketosismasterclass.com. If this video was beneficial to you, hit that thumbs up button. Also, check out my 10-part keto series to learn more about keto right here on YouTube. If you just stick or tap the screen right there, you'll see that pop right up. Watch that video. I'll see you in that video, and thanks so much for watching today.